In this video, we're going to cover 3 different elements that you can add to your funnel or your website to change the way that you offer deals to your clients. So these 3 elements are the countdown, the minute timer, and the day timer. Now these 3 different timers all give you the same end goal. It's just the different ways that you can go about getting there. So I'll drag them all in so you can see the difference between all 3 of these different elements. You can see visually they all look the same, and in the settings they're all set up very differently but with slight changes. The countdown timer is when you want an offer to end at a certain date and time. This is when you could say something like, this deal ends on the 30th of December. Make sure you register before then to get in. To set this up in the settings, you pick the end date of your offer, the end time of your offer, and the time zone that you want this to be running off. As you can see, this offer will be open for 13 days, 17 hours, 45 minutes, and 34 seconds. Now, the minute timer is a little bit different. This means that when the customer enters the web page, this timer will set to be triggered in whatever time that you set it to be. This means that in 10 minutes, the expire action will be triggered. The day timer is a little bit different. It means that you can set the end time that day. Let's say that you are a florist and people could register for next day delivery if they order before 4 p.m. This means if you set the end time for 4 p.m., the expire action will be triggered at 4 p.m. It's a little bit confusing, but let me talk you through what the expire action is. This means that once this timer hits 0, an action will occur. For countdown timers, this means the expire action will trigger at the same time for all visitors, no matter the day. For minute timers, it means the expire action will be triggered a set amount of time after the user lands on that page. And for the day timer, it means the expire action will be triggered at the same time every day. But what is the expire action? There's 2 options and they're pretty self-explanatory. The first one is redirect to URL. That means if you had the minute timer to go off after 10 minutes, after 10 minutes of this client hitting this web page, they will be taken to a new URL. The other option is to show and hide element. That means that after this timer runs out, some elements will be hidden and other elements will be shown. This expire action box is the same for all 3 timers, so we're going to delete 2, get something set up, and show you how this works. So what we've got set up now is a minute timer for 10 minutes. We have a form and we're saying register in the next 10 minutes, don't miss out. Then we have a calendar and we're saying, well, if you've missed out on filling out this form, why don't you come to a free session? So we're going to set this up and set up the expire actions. So when this 10-minute timer runs out, we want it to hide this form here. So we'll go hide elements, and just keep highlighting the elements until we see the one that we want to hide be highlighted. There we go, it's this form. So after 10 minutes, we want that form to be hidden. And maybe we'll also hide that subheadline. So when the timer runs out, we want to show the calendar and the text above it. So we'll come over to our settings, click on show elements, and we will go down and we will find that calendar and that subheadline that we want to appear. Now, even though they are visible on this page at the moment, once we save and preview it, they will not be available. So let's save it and preview it and see that that works. But what I will do, so you don't have to sit here for 10 minutes, is change it from 10 minutes to 5 seconds. All right, that timer is on. As you can see, we can only see the form. And when the timer ends, it disappears and we see the stuff that we wanted to be revealed. Now, if you don't want to see that timer on the page when you're going, what you can do is switch back over to where you can see the timer, go to your settings and change the color to white for both the color and the label options, and it will look like the timer isn't there at all. Now, you could be a little bit cheeky with this, and instead of saying you have 10 minutes, you could say register before it fills up, and then after a certain amount of time, you hide the form and you say, oh no, it filled up. Don't worry, come in for a free session instead. So to summarize, that is the 3 different countdowns that you can add. The countdown, the minute timer, and the day timer. There are slight differences in which one of those timers you might want to choose, but the expire action for all three is the same, and that is either redirecting to a URL or hiding and showing some elements.